What is up, Sidearm Nation, and welcome back to another episode of the Steelers Sidearm Report here. Today we're going to talk a little bit about the recent news that has surfaced here for the Steelers. You know, the common things that everyone's talking about, such as the TJ Watt contract extension. And then we're also going to talk a little bit about the Buffalo Bills game for week one of the NFL starting tomorrow, Sunday afternoon over in Buffalo. So first off, talking about a couple of the things coming out of training camp. That is, the wrapping up of a couple of storylines there. The 53-man roster is set. On the offensive side of the ball, you're going to see at least 3 rookies starting, maybe 4, depending on Pat Freiermuth. He's going to play a lot anyway, so, even if he's not starting, there's going to be 4 rookies on the offensive side of the football that are really going to get a lot of action and a lot of burn in the first game here in week one. So that'll definitely be something to keep an eye on. But football is back, and I think that's just something that everybody can be excited for, regardless of who you're rooting for. We already had a great game Thursday night between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Dallas Cowboys there. Unfortunately for me, an Ezekiel Elliott running back fantasy holder, terrible game for me. Cowboys threw it almost 60 times. Zeke ran the ball, I don't think it was like five times maybe. It was terrible. So definitely something for me to keep an eye out on moving forward. But today we're going to talk about our Steelers, and we're going to see if they got a chance this weekend at Buffalo, a team that's they're going to be in the Super Bowl conversation for at least the next handful of seasons here. A team that has a rising quarterback in Josh Allen, who's really starting to come into his own. I think he's going into year 4. And, he's really starting to, be a household name. Not going to say he's going to be a Hall of Famer, but you know what? He's pretty similar to like a 2007, 2008 Ben Roethlisberger. Going into year 4, year 5, really starting to play at a high level and taking teams to Super Bowls. Now, Big Ben won a Super Bowl, in his second year in the league in 2005. But that's besides the point. Still very similar QBs in that sense. Just 2 very different spots in their career. Josh Allen turns out to be like Big Ben. I'm sure he'd be very happy with how his career turned out. But nonetheless, a really strong Buffalo Bills team going up against our Steelers this Sunday tomorrow. And I think it's going to be a really tough game. And I'll give my score prediction here later in the episode. But overall, the 3 things I'm looking to see, we'll do 3 things on the offensive side of the ball and 3 things on the defensive side of the ball. On offense, number 1, how's the offensive line going to look against that stout front 7 for Buffalo? And Buffalo is a team that's returning pretty much all of their starters back. And if they're not returning a starter, they've likely upgraded in that position. So definitely a really solid team front to back, side to side. I mean, there is no weaknesses, no holes in this team. And how the offensive line goes out there Sunday with 2 rookies. You're going to have rookie Dan Moore at left tackle and rookie Kendrick Green at center. It's going to be very interesting. And then you got, the old Pro Bowler there, Trey Turner at right guard. Dots in there at left guard, who's arguably, the best O-lineman on this team. But this is still his first full season as a starter. So there's still a lot of unknown there. And then Chukwuma Okorafor there on the right side, since Zach Banner is on the IL. Will be interesting to see how he progresses. He hasn't looked super great over the preseason. And, I think he's a guy that a lot of teams kind of, a lot of people penciled in, he's a starter on this offensive line, but it's almost because nobody could really push him. Dan Moore actually did a really good job of pushing him throughout the offseason, I thought. And Dan Moore's done such a good job that, he's a starter at the left tackle. And since Zach Banner's injured, they'll shift Chukwuma or Okorafor back over to the right side, which is the right decision. Dan Moore looked a lot more comfortable on the left side, and Chukwuma Okorafor started practically the entire season last year on the right side. So, that's the right decision. We'll just see how the offensive line meshes here in week one. And, especially with Najee, how he's looking, is the offensive line going to give him some opportunities? Are they going to open up some holes for him, or is he going to have to be dancing behind the line of scrimmage a lot just to make some things happen? So hopefully it's the former, not the latter there, between that. The second thing I'm looking out for on this offensive side of the ball is Big Ben. How's he going to play? And I think, you know, he looked great in the preseason. I think he always does. He's fresh. And, how is he going to effectively use Matt Canada's offense? And how is he going to be, is he going to drop back 50 times a game? Is this running game actually going to play a part in this game, or are they going to abandon it early? I don't see that happening. I see them really trying to get this offense working and trying to be as balanced as possible no matter what. It's a long season, 17 games this year. And so, if you end up losing to Buffalo, so what? You got 16 more games, and really, the key here should just be to figure it out as soon as possible. That way, the rest of the season will have less hiccups. And Buffalo is a great team, and so you just got to go out there, give it your all, and really figure yourself out to set yourself up for later in the year, and maybe there's a rematch sometime in the playoffs. I think that would be a good goal for the Steelers to have going into this year. And so that leads me to number three, which is, how is Matt Canada's offense gonna look? Is it gonna be clean? They've said, it's Big Ben himself even said, look, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be pretty ugly probably in week one, week two, as they still try to figure out the communication aspect and all these pre-snap motions and making sure people know their assignments, and all 11 guys are doing their job and they're doing the right thing. That's going to be something to keep an eye out. And it's not going to be perfect week one. That's just the way it is. It's not going to be perfect. It's the first time they're going to get in a packed house stadium, more than likely. And they're really going to have to, put the communication to the test on the road early in the season here. So, seeing how that all unfolds, I think is going to be very interesting for this team. And so that is kind of the offensive side of the ball. And then, of course, honorable mention, you want to see how all the new guys perform, mostly the rookies. You want to see Najee Harris in games that count. You want to see Pat Freiermuth in the red zone in games that count. You want to see guys doing well there. So overall, very excited for what is going to happen here. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, three things there. I think number one, how's the secondary going to look? How's the nickel defense going to be? I think it'll be Cam Sutton on the inside, James Pierre on the outside, more than likely. But that is seeing how that shakes down will be interesting as well. I also think that number two would be, how is the communication going to be overall? Joe Schobert back there, we don't know who's going to be wearing the green dot yet, whether it'll be Devin Bush or Joe Schobert. But overall, it's going to be interesting to see how the defense reacts there moving forward this season. So definitely some things to keep an eye out for there. And then number three on the defensive side of the ball, can they be elite like they were last season? Can this be the same defense? You lost Bud Dupree, but you got Highsmith and Melvin Ingram. You lost I'm losing his name there. The cornerback, Steven Nelson. You lost him. You also lost Mike Hilton. How is this defense going to look overall? Are they going to be able to produce the same way? Are they going to be able to keep this team in the ball game? Because that's going to be the key. This offense might spitter and sputter at first, but if the defense can go up there and put zeros on the board, it's going to be just fine. So overall, those are all great things to keep an eye out for on this season as we look forward to this game on Sunday afternoon. And so I think everybody's excited, as we all should be, and I think it's going to be a great game, and we're going to set ourselves up great for the rest of the year, and we're all going to enjoy a great year of some NFL football action. So if you made it this far, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow along wherever you're listening to this show, whether it be on Spotify podcast, Google Podcast, YouTube. Be sure to drop a comment down below if you are on YouTube. Subscribe for more. And thank you, Sidearm Nation, and let's hope for a great Pittsburgh Steelers season. I look forward to all of it with all of you guys listening. So thank you very much. Enjoy the weekend and go Steelers.